The moment is now. Are you ready?
Let's play Armis. Let's take a look at this. Let's get the aircraft carrier a little bit higher, the Coast Guard and the submarine a little bit higher, and fill in the hole. Don't want both Marines on the same side. That looks good enough. Let's give it a shot. The computer chooses to switch positions. I get to move first. Alright, with that, let's keep an eye on both of the air forces. Helicopter this way, that way, and jet this way, and that way. My Coast Guard is covered by my Marine. A lot of times people like to use the Marines to take control of the coastal waters very early in the game. And so that's why I put in the Coast Guard to try to guard against that. I'm going to try to put in the submarine into the deep sea so that I can control the deep waters. I may or may not go into the Eastern Sea because well, if I do, it will likely be because I want to get my child. I'll use the submarine as a bridge and to get my child to take my opponent's nuke. Again, I have to watch out for the jet and the helicopter when I put the sub into deep waters. Now with my opponent's Marine over here, it's even more important to have the submarine, my submarine over here, so that I can also use it as a to board my Marine uh, in an effort to trap my opponent's Marine. Alright, now with both of my opponent's Marines pretty far from this submarine, well, I have next to no chance of getting to it anyway. Let's see what we do here. Alright, let me think this out. Because if I board, I cannot move onto coastal waters with someone boarded. So if I board and it comes in here, it will still need to go here or here in order to threaten. So this is a safe boarding. And then I will disembark 1, 2, 3, 4 to take my opponent's nuke. All right, now the sub would need to go here or here in order to threaten my submarine. And if it goes in either one of those two spaces, then my submarine uh, can capture anything that's in these two spaces right here. I'm going to try to get my some of these offensive pieces in the backfield out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so my marine is safe from uh, this jet. I'm just going to count it off again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's safe. But I want to get now with my mover out of the way. I can use my uh, president as well as my army to go here or in this line to make inroads into the expanse area. All right, I chose not to move my president too far up because I don't want to get it threatened by the army so quickly. Um, I'd rather want to use it to threaten his marine and at the same time give a buffer between his pieces, meaning the marine and the army, and my army. If I get my army over here, that actually builds a fortress or a wall uh, to prevent my opponent's diplomat from capturing my nuke. Okay, now I have 3 offensive pieces. My opponent has 2 offensive pieces in the expanse area. So if I go here with my president, if it captures my president with the army or the marine, then I am able to use my army to capture it, whichever one it is. And then if the other surviving piece um, chooses to continue the assault, then my marine can finish off the skirmish. Interesting. It chose not to follow through with that. Well, let's get the new president out to try to trap the marine. With my Coast Guard here and my marine here covering both the Coast Guard and the Army, it this Marine will have to travel all the way back into its own setup zone in order to be safe. And it should do it very quickly, because if I get my president out into the expanse area, then that will pretty much uh, trap the Marine. All right, that was a good move, because what I wanted to do was to go here, and if I go here, then it can now use its helicopter to come here. But my Marine has a, oh, okay, if I go here, I'm still threatening the Marine as well as the helicopter, and because I'm here, it can't, well, no. If I went here with the army, then his Marine can capture my army. It's not covered by the president, and it would also not be covered by my Marine. So if I went here, it would be covered by my army, but then 1, 2, 3, it would not have enough. Okay, I would not have enough coverage of this part of his setup zone um, to trap it. So my best bet, let's see, 1, 2, 3. If I went here, my Marine would be able to cover it. 1, 2, 3. Yes, my Marine is able to cover, and at the same time, it the Army covers this part of my opponent's setup zone, and at the same time covers most of the expanse. This box here is open, so it can travel there. This box is covered by my Marine and any other box below that. So now with that, this ends up trapping my opponent's Marine. And the best thing that I believe it should do is to take one of the threatening pieces. Now, I will likely go here or somewhere away from my opponent's president, but close enough out of its line of fire, but close enough to be able to capture it. And this spot right here would be a good spot to be in. It gives me the ability to capture the president or the helicopter. So in this case, the best place for, now that the mover moved out of the way, this vice president is covering the president. So now the helicopter should move over here so that uh, the president can cover the helicopter. But it chose not to do that. I no longer have any executive to take my opponent's diplomat. So um, this diplomat is going to have be able to go anywhere it wants, unless I use a piece to where is my religion? Where is my religion? Oh, it's over here. All right. It's already a part of the wall. Unless I can get something in this spot right here, then my nuke is pretty much gone. If I move this away, then I can move my media over here. 1, 2, 3. Then it can go here. I don't think I need to protect the nuke. I'm just gonna have to give that effort up and focus my efforts on other pieces. As you can see, the reserve is not covered. The religion is preventing the coverage of the vice president, preventing the vice president from covering the reserve. You know, I thought that the computer would have protected the Marine a little bit better than that. Getting that nuke should not have been a high priority for the computer, especially not covering the that Marine. It should have used the vice president to go here. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it can't go here. There's nothing that it can actually take that I see. Okay, so that move was basically the computer running. And let's see what I can do here. I can go here, but that won't, yeah. I need to try to get towards this reserve. With the president and vice president covering one another, there's nothing that I'm going to do to be able to get one of those pieces unless they separate. And if they separate, then I'll be able to use one of my pieces, preferably the child, to go between them. One, two, three, 4, 5. All right, so that's not a threat. Okay, now that I have 2 Marines focused in this area, I can actually use one of them to capture one of the pieces, the president or vice president, and use the other Marine to finish off the executive. But I'll try to go for the reserve first. Alright, in this position, I'm now threatening the reserve, the jet, as well as the executive. If the religion doesn't move, I'm taking the reserve. If the religion does move, then I'll take one of the executives. I didn't expect that move. And with that, here ends the game. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
The whole world see us through your eyes.